Hi, this is Big Mama. I have just finished my September Stashbuster Dear Julie Challenge for 2023, and I wanted to show you what I made. I did a journal, and she had us take our scraps, trash, accessories, stencils, hoarded items, book pages, unused digitals, stamps such as rubber stamps. We could use texture, envelopes, and any remnants such as lace or scrap material, and make some items. She wanted us to do this, use this to make our cover. We had to do a fabric pocket, a flip-flop page with a flap, double tuck, a layered belly band with a mystery. I like saying belly band. I love that word. We had a fabric flip with a stack of notes, a double-edged pocket, a flip-out flip, which was attached. If you're going to flip out, you need to be sure you're attached to something. A double corner tuck with a mystery, waterfall with 4 flaps, and a flip-flop mini journal embellishment, and a new item that she had us do, which is called Door After Door. And she had us load those down with some tags and hidden journaling cards, index cards, 2 bookmarks, 2 of our favorite things to insert in our journals, 5 tabs, tag toppers, 5 panels or cover cards, 5 clusters, 5 guest checks or 3x6 cards, and 5 altered paper clips. And we got to put them all in a journal. So my journal, because I like to add a lot of stuff to mine. She's a big girl, like Big Mama. And so I want you to see that I have taken, once again, a Reader's Digest condensed book and had fun totally changing it from anything Reader's Digest ever intended it to be. So let me introduce you. I don't even name this one because it is very eclectic. I would call her a gypsy, but look at her. Yep. This was a winter 1955 Reader's Digest condensed book. The pages were rather brittle, and so when I glued them together, I've got several pages glued together to give it strength, but I also then added a digital on top of that or other pieces of paper so that it kept that from falling apart for you. So here we go. These were some of the fibers. These are the colors that are within the journal. So I just took some strips of them together, ran some gold thread through it, and tied some knots in it. And so that is my tie. I'm doing this backwards, so you know, I'm not really sure that I do things really good when it's facing me, and so when it's not. So anyway, we were supposed to do our cover using some of these elements, and so these are pieces of Julie's digitals that she had, and it is several digitals that I have that I use. These are just, you can see I had lots of scraps left over from working on projects, and so I'm not going to be able to tell you, well, this is from a certain one and this is from another one. I'm telling you, though, that all of our digitals, every piece, don't throw them in the trash because you'll be able to use them later on something. I used a stencil and put glue stick. No, this isn't the glue stick. This is actually taking art glitter glue and then taking some weathered embossing powder that was in a blue and heating that up. And so this is actually embossing powder that I put on there using art glitter glue. And that was a happy accident. I do Art Before Breakfast with Cheryl Fuller, and Ink Pulp is her channel. And so every morning we go in and get to do a art by committee. And so this was an accidental thing that she was doing with glue. And at that same week, Carrie Clapp, who is always in Julie's chat, had talked about using the art glitter glue and embossing powder. I didn't know you could do that. I thought that you had to use embossing paint ink with the embossing powder. And so this was so freeing because I could get really small details with it, and I totally and completely love that. I used the Fabri-Tac and attached the binding, is that a binding or the closure, to the book, so that when you're writing in it, you don't lose this. But if you should happen to want to lose it, rip it off. You probably take some of the cover, but then that'll be antiquing it a little bit more, so you go for it. So let me get some of this out of the way and then have some fun looking inside this beauty. So in the front cover, she had us do hidden journaling cards, and so I have 2 of them in here. And what a hidden journaling card is this is her digital, and I put it on some cardstock. I think this was the 5x7 index cards that I have. And then you take, after you glue it down only around the edge, and then you cut it. But where the cut is at, you want to hide that cut. And so I put the lace over the top of that so that you don't really see it. And so it just looks like a pretty card that you can write on the back. But here in the back, you can see that where it's cut. And then it has a card in the inside here that you can pull out and write in. So that is what a hidden journaling card is. And it does go back together quite well. And then I simply made a lace pocket here, sewed this down to a piece of music paper, and then glued it on there for my front cover. And I left several of the pages in here, but they just were beautiful. And I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. This is the cover page, and then as we get in, there was such wonderful graphics in here. I couldn't get rid of them, and so I had some of Julie's. These are her background pieces, background lace. So I put that in here and have some lace on there to accent this pocket. And I simply put a card in there that you can write on. And then this is another pocket here that you can put something in. And if I'd have been thinking, I would have put something in there. I probably will. So then here I did some different folds. I also watch Kathleen Mauer's channel, and I've been saying it wrong for a year, Moyer, but it is Mauer. And so anyway, she does fancy folds, and so I thought, well, I will get some of those ideas and put them together for me. So I put a little hole there that's just for pretty, no other reason. And then that flips out so you can do some more journaling. And then over here, I just glued that down to the page to give it strength and put the washi tape here for interest. On this side, I have my flip up here for my waterfall, and each page had to be embellished, so I embellished it with some lace. And this was the original picture in here. The story was about a battle in Russia, between England and Russia in the 1700s. So I kind of kept that theme of nothing makes sense when I'm trying to think and talk. I should never think before I speak. And so here is the other hidden journaling card, and this is one of my embellished paper clips, and I'm going to leave them on the page because they work perfect for text, but that is a double-sided paper clip. And since the topic of the story that is here was about Russia, I also had a magazine that had some Russian musicians. And so I took their pictures and put on here, and we were to do the double tuck with a mystery. And so my mystery has that you can flip this out and write on it and tuck that back in, and the same down here for the bottom, that it comes out and you can write on. And so the tuck is at the top where you can go up here or down here. And this is one of my 3x6 cards, and I also have some music on there to keep with the music theme. This was another one of the artists, and so we were to make 2 things that we love to put in journals. And if you've watched my other videos, you know I love to make these little pieces here that you can write on, and then just flip it up and put it back together. And that slid down in here. He's writing a love letter, I'm sure. And shall we continue? I crocheted along the edge of this piece of paper here and glued it down for a writing spot, because I wanted to use a piece of paper that was music, that you can write music on. And this is, Sarita had sent me some paper that she had stenciled, and so this is one of her pages that she had done. We were also supposed to do panel cards that you could take these and actually put them like on the front of a cover, or use them for journaling. And so this is one of my panel cards. And then this story that has started now is a story about my life in China. And so that's why I left these kind of white in here, because they have to do with China. Shanghai is one of the towns. And so again, there's one of my double-sided paper clips. And Big Daddy's in the garage below me. If he comes stomping in through here, the dog is going to start barking, and you guys are going to know Big Daddy's in the house. He's been out in the garage working on that 3140. He's making a rat rod. So if he comes in and he peeks his head around the corner, that dusty man is my man. So here's some washi tape on this. Up, I heard the back door. He's coming in. So, and then another page. We were supposed to do a layered belly band. That's the dirty old man right there. He's gonna kill me dead. So anyway, here's my layered belly band, and this has one of those little letters that I like to make, and I just love that guy so much. That's gonna be the last time I ever see him too. He's just gonna leave me for sure. So anyway, there's this one of that 3x6 or a guest check, and so I did a few of those, and then I have a little card that's stuck in a pocket here, and I also have a little envelope here, and this was part of her digitals, and this is her digitals. And so we'll get everybody tucked right in. It's gonna kill me. If you can see that I'm a little nervous, it's like, oh, mercy. This may be the last time you ever see Big Mama. Okay. So, this is her digital here. She had some tropical birds, and this was where she had the, I'm not sure, are these pages here when you open up the book cover plate? Well, that's what this was, and so I thought the colors really look good. This was a picture that was in the book, and so I went and trimmed around the picture to make a little pocket there. And this is one of those cards, and this was another picture. Actually, this picture was out of a different Reader's Digest book, and It may not have been Reader's Digest. I think that this was an old book I had that I cut the picture out and put on there because I thought it went so well with all the colors. And again, I don't know if you can see how beautiful doing that embossing powder, and I also have the gold embossing powder. And so I'd put the blue on there, and then I'd put the gold on there, and I did that throughout so that it's cohesive all the way through. I thought it turned out really, really well. And then we were supposed to do bookmarks. And let me tell you about the bookmark. I watched Kathleen Maurer do her belly band, and she did the belly band with a mystery to where it opened up, and she had the little tab on it, and it opened up, and I thought, oh my goodness, well, that's going to be perfect for me to use for my bookmark. And so the bookmark didn't have a mystery, but it didn't have to have, but I like that this piece of paper now I can write in, and it is also a bookmark. And so I had explained in one of my videos where the old notebook, I took the spring, is that what it's called, the spring? Anyway, it's the little metal thing that when you undo it, it's a spring. But I don't know that it's supposed to be a spring while it's holding the notebook together, but it has all these little holes, and so instead of ripping the paper, I just pulled that out. So I have all of these papers now with these holes, and so I put a little bit, I don't know if you can see the edge here where I reinforce the edge so that when you open and close it, it doesn't tear. Well, this is a surgical tape that feels like paper, and so I put that on to reinforce it, but I also reinforce the edge here, and then when I'm crocheting, it doesn't rip apart. And then put the gold bow on the top. I ran the paper around it just for interest, so that when you put this down inside here to hold it, it just goes all the way around and looks like a band that you could, a sleeve type of band that you slip off. But I put the gold up on the top so I'd know which way it goes in my book. So we were also supposed to make some clusters, and I used my clusters then as just little tucks on pages, and had some ephemera in my collection of things that I just put in here, basically because of the colors, not because of the importance. Some more Sarita paper, and then the tattered edge here. And I'd also showed where I took just put tape on the page and then took it off so that I would have a page here to write. And as I'm doing this, I'm like, oh, I wish you guys could feel this. It feels so fabulous, almost plush. But when I write on it with my, I've got my fountain pens are all right up there, and I can't just grab one. They should be where I could see them. Okay, we'll lay down. Right on here with a fountain pen. It looks so beautiful. This flips up to where you can write on it, but it also has a tuck in here. And this was Julie's digital. Then I took the words off down here so that you can write on that page also. The one thing I want to make really sure that I get across is that when you take those words off, this has got a couple of pages glued together. It's thick. So when you're taking those words off, if it's just one piece of paper, of this fragile paper, it's going to rip and get brittle and everything. But with a couple of pieces glued together, it's strong. I'm not saying you can't rip it, I'm just saying that it's a little bit harder to rip. I also we're supposed to do tabs or toppers, and so I've got 5 of these along the way, just for pretty. And then this was a journaling card that we were supposed to do. And what this is I get, hold on. I get, because I was old, I get these in the mail, AARP, and they send me my crafting supplies, and they are such good size, and I end up using them to protect paper, stick them in a pocket, and then ink around them. So they're in pretty bad shape. This one's in good shape, but this one's got some gesso on it, and so what I do is, to be able to use it, you can just take, see, it's very versatile. I got to use it for my gesso, but I also get to rip that off, just the top layer. Don't get too greedy. And of course, you know what it is, dog and pony shows. None will ever go right when you want it, because I rip too much. It just shows you what you can do. Don't know my own strength. But then I can glue a piece of paper over the top of it. So toss that in the trash now, because I done messed it up. And what are they? Oh, hey, but I'm gonna put this bag where it belongs. That's what it looks like when you do it right. Okay. Take that little piece off of the front of it, and this is a napkin and a rub-on, and then some more of that gold texture there, and put it in that tuck. You guys want to see every page. Some people, they say, oh, I wanted to see every page, so I'm doing it for them, not if you don't want to. There's another one of those pockets that I made. And then this was in a book, and I thought the color and everything went really well with all of the pages, so I put that there so you can write on it. And it was real long, so this was the bottom of it, so I put it over here on this side. And I thought that this looked really good with the Asian topic. And here's another one of those guest checks, or 3x6 cards that I put on there. And some more music papers. And the reason why I put that there is you want to kind of carry it through the book. So there's that. Here's another one of my paper clips, and this is just some ephemera that I had that I've stuck under it. And another piece, this was, you can buy a package of hi these things at Hobby Lobby, and that's what that is. And then here's another one of the cards that I made, and the other, put it on the back side of a digital, and the tuck. And this is another one of the pages where I just took the words off so that you can still write on here, but I love this graphics, so I left it and then put my tuck right there. And so this can go either way, and also you can write on it. This, what I did here is I cut out from several pages, I glued them together, and then I cut out a frame. And then on the back side of that frame, I went and glued some of the plastic, which is from, now I can, it's an overhead viewing thing. And so I loved this picture here. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I thought that was pretty awesome. And so I put this sheer over it because I wanted it to look like this is the curtain. You're looking out of the window and you're seeing this courtyard and everything. But it is also a pocket that I just put an old letter that I had, and this was to a soldier, and I thought that that was just pretty neat. 1951, and the book is 1955, and so I thought that they went really well together, and the colors go well together. So that goes in that pocket. And then we were to make a flip-flop with a flap. Okay, so here's my flap, and I made it to where you've got a piece of paper here that you can write on. Okay, and so it goes underneath this, but I also turned that into a little tiny belly band with one of Julie's digitals that goes here. And that goes back under. So that's my flip-flop. That's the flap of the flip-flop. And then this comes open, and I have these pages and just ran some lace up through the holes there on that, and put some napkin on here. And this is Julie's digital. So that's that page. And then here again is using the cluster that we were supposed to do, and you don't want my hair in there. And just have one of these cards. And then this is her digital. I put it on upside down. I did upside down. So I took sandpaper. I wanted to cry. I was going to cover it up, and I thought, well, let's see what we can do. Sandpaper. My birds are upside down. Those are birds. But the butterfly was right side up. So because the butterfly was right side up, I didn't cover up the page. It's upside down. And took the words off of this page, and I put this here that you can slide something up under, and there was the title of the next story is here, and it was called My Brother's Keeper, and I took My Brother's Keeper off so that you could write on there. Then put some wrapping paper, just the brown paper, put a piece there, and left the graphics again for My Brother's Keeper. And this is where she likes to take an envelope and make a double tuck. And so this is an envelope that I put on the edge of the page, and then here is another one of the journaling cards that she had us make. And on the back of it, I had a remnant of some paper, and so I just put that across there and made this where you can, it's a journaling spot. And on the envelope, I put some napkin in there. And then on the other side, once again, it flips out to where you can journal. But then on this side here, I have, these are her digitals, and this is the page out of the story, and another one of my bookmarks, and just added lace to the edge of this page. And then some avocado dyed paper that I did, and this is some Sarita paper that is, it was real crackly that she had done. It's a very transparent, and so I put that on there so you can still see the story. And then made a lace pocket here to hold another one of the cards that we were to make. And then this is one of her digitals. And this is where she calls it the door after door. So this one goes down, and you're right here. And then this goes over to right here. This one comes over and out. And then this comes up to write on, and then you can do some writing in there. Am I doing it right? How'd I do? And it is also, after doing all of that, we also have a pocket here with a letter in it. So then here's another one of those tags. That is a guest check. Digital. Yeah. It feels like I've got more than one page. Guess not. Ledger paper and some more of my avocado paper. We were supposed to do a fabric flip, and so she just looked like she'd have a lace hanky, so I put the lace hanky there, and it comes up, and you've got journaling spot here with a couple of pages that I stenciled on. And then here's some more journaling spaces. And then the next story was Good Morning, Miss Dove. And so there's Miss Dove playing a piano as a young girl. I took the words off of the pages. And then this is what the birds look like when they're flying right, not when they're upside down. Just wanted you to know this is the right way. But I'm looking at it upside down. And then in the back of the box, in the back of the book, I made a box. And so I have it tied closed here, and open it up, and I have taken a hanky and put it here, edged it, and a hanky, I added some blue to it. And then this was the dust cover of one of my books, and I loved all the colors, just seemed to go so well with this that I went ahead and took that old dust cover off of the book and used it throughout. But basically I wanted to put it on the edge here, and so then I edged it with that embossing powder and the gold embossing powder, and flaked it inside around the edge inside here. And then this is the last part of the challenge. Is she wanted us to do it's a mini flip, and so I made mine using a brown paper sack. No. I'm sorry, didn't mean to blubber. One of those, and I can't even, glassine bag. There you go. Whew, that was a hard one to pull out of me. Okay, so this is the way it looks. And I've got my little pin up there. I put some scraps of lace and stuff on the pin, and have that where I stitched it onto the page, and have all of the colors to kind of go with the book, and then had the napkin that I used here to go with Julie's digital. So it opens up here, and you have this space where you can write. And then you turn it over, and you can open it up here, and you have places to write using my scraps. And then close it with a rusty paper clip, and then that goes in here and closes up, and tie it with a bow. close it up and you got yourself a 1955 Reader's Digest that you can't read anymore. This is Big Mama. I hope that this hasn't been too long and you're not too bored. Remember, you got to see my dirty old man. I love that, Big Daddy. Bye-bye.